Guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. On today's video, guys, I'm going to be doing the first gaming video in quite some time, but I was super excited for this new chapter when it was announced, and now the PTB is out for it, so I'm even more excited. Obviously, I don't have the PC version of Dead by Daylight since they have not introduced cross-progression yet. I'm really hoping that they will eventually. So I can only wait until it is actually fully released before I can start playing the new killer. But before we get on to this video, next week we got quite a few new movies coming out. I believe it's Gran Turismo. I know for sure Blue Beetle, but I think maybe Gran Turismo is the week after that. But either way, we got quite a few movies for the rest of the month coming out, so stay tuned for future movie reviews. But in the meantime, I really wanted to just throw something out there, so I figured why not do a little gaming video. I have not done a gaming video in quite some time. It's been all movie stuff. And so for those of you who like Dead by Daylight, this video is here for you. But overall, I was super excited when they announced that they are bringing Alien to Dead by Daylight. This has been a long-awaited chapter, and a much desired chapter by many Dead by Daylight players, and it's finally here. So I'm super excited. I've already watched videos and stuff like that, already seen the new perks and seen how the power works and all the gameplay, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna be doing a quick overview on my thoughts on this new chapter. So, I guess, let's just start out with the map, first of all. The map, visually, first of all, just looks really good. And I just really wish that the developers would put as much time as they did into this new map as they do with all of the other maps in the future, because there were a lot of, like, cool little things and, like, Easter eggs and things like that that they put into this map. That just make it more interesting and things like that. And I just wish that they would do that more and invest more time into the maps. They kind of did like the secret room thing, kind of like how they did with Midwich, but instead of just like, you know, it pops up and there's a chest, it's like this whole like terminal room from the movie, so that was really cool. And then there's like this thing where if you open a locker, there's a random chance that a cat will just like pop out of the locker, so it's really cool. So I wish they would do more of that stuff, and I think they just did a really good job at making the map nice and balanced. Rather than just having the whole map inside of this spaceship, they did kind of half spaceship and then half just open map, as usual. So I think that was a smart play by them, and I think, you know, a lot of people probably would compare this to the previous map, which was the, what is it called? The map that came with the Singularity chapter. For some reason, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But a lot of people would complain, or would compare it to that as it is on an alien planet. But I think this map is actually done a lot better than that map. And aesthetically, it just looks really great. There's a lot of cool things that they put into there, and so I really, really love it. I think they did a good job on the map for once, which is something that normally a lot of people don't say. I think I could have done without maps for a lot of the chapters in the past, but this one, I really, really do like this one, and I think they should have just saved an alien map like this for this chapter rather than making the Singularity right before, because they had to have had this chapter planned out for months in advance, even before the Singularity chapter came out. So I think it would have been really cool if they released this on the anniversary. That would be really awesome. I really like when they do license releases on the anniversary, because when the 4th anniversary came out and they introduced Silent Hill, that was amazing, and then Resident Evil on year 5, and then the past 2 years they've been just doing brand new original killers, which is fine, but I just think licensed killers are really, really fun to release on the anniversaries. But either way, I'm not going to complain. I really couldn't be more happier with this chapter overall. So before we get onto the power, I guess we'll just talk about the perks that come with the killer and the new survivor as well. So the first perk, Rapid Brutality, basically removes Bloodlust, and then when you hit a survivor with a basic attack, you get a 5% haste status effect. for up to 10 seconds. Now, some people have been saying that they really like this perk. I'm not really a big fan of it. I kind of like the idea of getting rid of Bloodlust. I think that probably should just be a base game mechanic. I think they should remove, like, Bloodlust 2 and 3 at the very least. But, so I like that idea. I don't know, rewarding, like, I don't know, the thing is, I don't really like how it's like, okay, you hit a survivor, and then it makes you catch up to him quicker, whereas with... So it's basically making you make up for that distance that you lost with your weapon cooldown, whereas Save the Best for Last is just cutting down the amount of distance that a survivor can get. I don't know, I kind of like Save the Best for Last better. I think obviously the effect is a lot better. I think combined, this could be a really powerful duo. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this perk. I'm sure it will be fine. I don't think it's going to be a useless perk. It'll definitely be used with Save the Best for Last. I can see that. But I just think Save the Best for Last is probably better and more fun to use, in my opinion, because it's, you know, a stack-based perk, which is really fun. And the effects can get much more crazier and wilder. Obviously, you can lose the tokens, but I'm just more of a fan of Save the Best for Last. This is basically an alternative to Save the Best for Last. But I think with Save the Best for Last, it could be pretty interesting. I don't know. Not the biggest fan of it. And then we got Alien Instinct. It shows you the aura of the furthest injured survivor for 5 seconds, and then makes them oblivious for 20 seconds. I really like the idea of this perk. I think that there is... probably some interesting builds you can make around this. This is basically a much better Deathbound. I know some of you probably forgot about what that perk does. Like, after two survivors heal each other, if they leave each other, they both become oblivious. This is just a way better version of that, and a better version of probably a few other perks that I can't think of off the top of my head, too. I like this perk. Again, might not use it. I don't think it's going to be a game changer or anything, but you could definitely use it for some interesting builds. And then there's Ultimate Weapon. Oh yeah, this is the one where you open a locker, and this perk activates for 30 seconds. Survivors entering your terror radius scream and reveal their location to you. Those survivors suffer from the blindness status effect for 30 seconds. I really like this perk as well. And I think that the devs played it smart with this perk, where they didn't just, oh, you open a locker and then the survivors around you scream. It activates for 30 seconds, and then if you enter a survivor's terror radius, they will scream, and then they will get blindness, rather than just you open the locker, and if there's no survivors around you, well, too bad. This perk is, you know, useless. But I like how they played it. They made it smart, and they have it activate for 30 seconds, and then they have to enter your terror radius. So that gives you... It basically makes it a guaranteed you're going to get a use out of this perk, so I really like that. I wish they would design more perks like that and rework perks like that to make them better. So overall, I really do like that perk. And then we'll just backtrack here so we can look at the Survivors perks as well. The new Survivor is Ellen Ripley. I believe Sigourney Weaver played her in the movies. So the first perk, a really, really fun perk. I like perks like this. Chemical Trap. Basically, after you repair a generator for a certain amount, you can place this trap on a downed pallet, and it will stay active for up to 2 minutes. And the aura of trap pallets are revealed to all survivors in yellow. And then when the killer breaks the trap pallet, by any means, the trap explodes, slowing the killer by negative 50% for 4 seconds. That is a hefty stun. I really like this perk. I like perks that introduce new game mechanics, and they're just really fun to use, even if they're not that good. Which this perk isn't bad by any means. It's not going to be a huge game changer. Obviously, it has to be on a dropped pallet. It's not like you can do it on a standing up pallet. So this perk by no means is overpowered. But I wish there were more perks like this that were fun rather than just boring, oh, show an aura of this or create this status effect. So I really like the idea of this perk. And by the way, the slowing effect, it's like, how do you want to say? It's like a chirogenic grenade kind of thing. So that's really cool. We don't really have any of those we don't have anything like that in the game yet. And then there's a perk that many people have been wanting for a while, a perk similar like this. It suppresses the sound of your footsteps while you are healthy and while you are running. And then it has a cooldown of minimum 20 seconds after performing a rush vault action. After performing a rush vault action. I'm not somebody who wears headphones while I play the game, so I don't really notice that. I probably wouldn't notice that much of a difference. I don't know. I guess I would just have to see this perk in action to see if it actually makes a difference from a killer perspective. But I know if you're wearing headphones and you're somebody who really pays attention to that sound very well, has their audio turned up quite a bit, which is definitely not me. I think this could definitely be a game changer, especially against Spirit, those kind of killers that are really reliant on sound. I might use this perk as Survivor. Obviously I'm not going to get any feedback from it, but I don't know. I'm not big as a fan of these perks because I'm just not that kind of person who plugs in headphones and is just zoned into my game. Usually I got a video playing in the background or something like that. I'm a lot more relaxed in my games than I used to be. But yeah, I can definitely see this being a pretty powerful perk. Up to par with probably old Iron Will, maybe. Maybe not as good as old Iron Will, but up to par with that. And then we got Lucky Star, which is you hide in a locker, and it suppresses your grunts of pain and the creation of pools of blood for 10 seconds. Upon exiting the locker, you benefit from the following effects. See the auras of other survivors are revealed to you, and then you see the closest generator in yellow, and then has a cooldown. I'm not a big fan of this perk. I wish there was something more rewarding you got out of this rather than just seeing the aura of a closest generator and all the other survivors. Yeah, not really a big fan of this perk. Not much more to say. Probably my least favorite new one. But now for the fun part, talking about the power of our new killer, the Xenomorph. It looks to be very, very fun. I just cannot wait to play it. I don't really have many complaints. I think he's a very balanced killer. Definitely probably in the middle, just perfectly balanced killer, I would say. I don't really have any suggestions right now for stuff that could, that could be changed with as far as his power and things like that. It looks to be very, very fun, and I like that. I'm not looking for killers that are super powerful. I'm looking for killers that are fun to play, that are different. It's not just the same anti-loop or generator slowdown and things like that. I'm looking for a killer that's just overall fun to play and is fun for both sides, and the Xenomorph just looks like he's going to be one of the more fun players, or one of the more fun killers to play and play against as well. I really like that they, instead of just having him teleport through his tunnels, if you don't know what his power does, I'll explain to you real quick. Basically, he has these tunnels, kind of like Demogorgon's portals, but instead of just teleporting to the portal or whatever, you actually get to crawl through this underground, these underground tunnels, and it just looks really, really awesome. And you actually get to go yourself and go through these paths to get to the other tunnel, and you can mark it so that it will show you the path and guide you or whatever. But it's just really cool. I like that the devs weren't just lazy and had him instantly teleport, or just something like with what Demogorgon did, like copied and pasted Demogorgon's teleport. I really like how you actually go underground and you go yourself down through the path and exit the tunnel. So obviously that's going to create a little bit of mobility. And when he uses these tunnels, he charges up his power, where he goes into I forgot what it was called. Hidden Pursuit, runner mode. He goes into runner mode, and basically he gets this tail attack that he gets to use that is similar to Nemesis's tentacle, but it works kind of like a spear. And then he runs faster, and he has a smaller tear radius, I believe 24 meter tear radius. So yeah, from the gameplay that I have seen, he just looks like a really fun killer to play. Whether it's manually going through the tunnels yourself or using the spear attack, all of that is just looks to be really, really fun, and I cannot wait to play the Xenomorph. And he looks to be a very balanced and fun killer. So yeah, I'm just really excited to play him. I think the turrets. There is a counter to his power, by the way, which I didn't mention yet, which is the survivors can set up these turrets that are basically these flamethrowers, where if he gets in the vicinity and he's in runner mode, it will try to stagger him and take him out of runner mode, basically. And he has to be exposed to the flames for like a decent amount of time. I think it's, maybe 2-3 seconds. Probably less than that, but for a decent amount of time, and then he gets knocked out of his power. The turrets might be a little bit too powerful, is what I've heard from some people, because it's really hard to get in the vicinity and avoid getting hit by the turrets. From what I've heard, people have been saying that you have to use your spear attack to destroy the turrets. It's very hard to just go up there and hit it with your basic attack. So maybe that needs to be changed. I'm not sure, because again, I haven't actually played him yet. I've only seen gameplay, but he just looks to be, like I said, a very balanced and fun killer, and I really just cannot wait to play him. Perks, I think, are pretty average for the most part. There's a few ones that I would like to try out, and I think that are interesting, but there's some that are, obviously not very good and will be reworked down the road. Definitely will need to be reworked down the road. But overall, yeah, I can't wait till this chapter comes on full release. I will definitely be playing a lot of this killer. And I think that's pretty much all to say. Map was nailed as well. I really like the visuals, the little small details that they put in there, all that kind of stuff. I think they did a really good job. So I'm glad that the devs put in a lot of time and effort into this chapter. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. That's my overview. Let me know what you guys think about the chapter in the comment section down below. Stay tuned for future movie reviews this month. And I think that's it. Like and subscribe, guys. And I will see you next time.